Good morning, boys and girls, and welcome to Monday's writing lesson. We're going to go back this week to the story machine, and we've got a writing lesson every day this week. And I really hope you enjoy writing from this book. I know some of you aren't the biggest fan of writing lessons, and I hope that this week actually changes that, because this is all about a little boy who didn't enjoy writing a lot and actually came out the other end of absolutely loving creating stories, because just because you might not like writing doesn't mean you don't like creating those stories. So I really hope that you enjoy this week's set of lessons. Now, what I'd like you to do is make sure that you know the story. So if that means you need to go back and watch the previous video of the story, then I would recommend doing that, because you're going to need to know the story in order to sequence it in today's lesson. So, just a reminder, Elliot was a curious little boy in our story who finds this old machine, can't figure out what to do with it, and then one day he makes it work by accident and discovers that it is a story machine with letters that make pictures. However, Elliot finds that letters are hard to deal with, and with his imagination and also the magnifying glass that we see in the pictures, he actually is able to make more pictures from them, and this sets him off on a path to a world of his own story making. And his enthusiasm means that the machine actually stops working, it malfunctions, and this makes him really sad. And he soon realises that actually it wasn't the machine making the stories, it was actually him making the stories. And although we never see what the story machine is, we know that it's a typewriter from the pictures. So if you was a recap on what the story was about. So in today's lesson, as I said in the previous slide, we are going to be looking at sequencing our story. I just wanted to pull up on this slide here, because what you can see from this slide is these words are all spelt incorrectly and they are all not right. That doesn't stop Elliot being an amazing story writer, and I don't want it to stop you. If you are struggling to spell something, then that's absolutely fine. Use your phonics, sound it out, and it doesn't matter if you get it right or wrong. I don't mind. It's about the storytelling this week rather than getting anything right or wrong. So, as we can see in this image here, Elliot goes on to absolutely adore story writing, and by the end of this week I would like you to be writing your own story that is similar to this one. But first we need to make sure that we know this story inside out. Now, what I've done is I've written 6 sentences from the story that tell us the story, but unfortunately I have put them in the wrong order, and I need your help to write them in the right order. Now, if you have a printer, I would recommend that you print it off and then order them, but if not, see if you can write them down in the right order. I do think you should try and use your handwriting to write these out. I think that practice needs to happen, because potentially, especially if you're not doing any other handwriting activities, you might lose that knack, and that's why we practice things. So I would recommend writing these out, and there is also a challenge. So let's go on to the next page. So as you can see here, I've got my 6 sentences, but unfortunately they are all mixed up, and I need you to put them in the right order. So you yourself should be thinking, okay, what do I need to look for? How am I going to make myself the best I can be at this? So we need to make sure we've got the right order. If you're writing them out, they need capital letters, full stops, and they need a capital letter for the name Elliot. They need that. So you must make sure that you have got a capital letter for the name Elliot, because it is a name. I'd like you to try that neat cursive handwriting, which is when we join up with lead-ins and lead-outs. But one of the most important things is you must be able to read what you have written. If you need a hand with reading it initially, ask an adult or an older sibling to give you a hand. That word machine might be a little bit tricky, but the rest of the words you should be able to read. Now, if you do want a challenge and you think, gosh, that's a bit easy, Mrs. Wilkinson, then I would say try the red challenge on the other side of the page. You're still going to order them, but some of my sentences are quite boring. They're not very inspirational. What I'd like you to do is, when you order the sentences, I'd like you to make the sentences better at the same time. For example, if we take that third sentence, it says, the machine broke. That's a little bit boring. We could totally add some better things into that. You could say, then Elliot's wonderful picture making machine broke. That's got a sentence starter, it's got a two-way phrase, and it tells us exactly what's happening. I'd like you to see if you want the challenge to make those sentences better. Even if you just want to do one of the sentences, that's absolutely fine. I hope you enjoyed doing this. Please send me what you've done and have fun.